And even now with it, the cars are made of, I don't know, plastic? What are they made of?
Yeah, they're made of shit.
They're made of nothing. They're not made of steel. They did it with steel back then.
Right.
And now they're...
Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
And that was another thing that the Nixon administration did. They passed that sweeping Schedule 1 Psychedelics Act, made everything illegal, and just threw water on the whole movement. And then everything changes. Then you have the 70s, music starts getting weird. In the 80s, it completely falls apart. Cars start looking like shit. People start dressing stupid. It's
now
like,
you're talking.
Yeah.
Now you're talking.
It got weird.
It's a real language. You know,
Yeah.
It's like when... I never tied it all to that sweeping thing, but when you revisit that, you realize how much harm that did, that kind of lawmaking. But let's all agree that the cars don't look as good as they used to.
Look
Okay,
like
let's
dog
look.
shit.
Who are those people that say they're the really good problem solvers? I see them every once in a while, and they go like, "How does he do it?" He said, "Well, first I say, what can we agree on?" Okay, so we can agree that cars don't look so good no more. You know,
Well, they look good
It used to be
now.
that every single year, every single car looked different than it
Yes.
looked the year before.
yes.
And that's mind-boggling nowadays to think about that. And even now with it, the cars are made of, I don't know, plastic? What are they made of?
Yeah, they're made of shit.
They're made of nothing. They're not made of steel. They did it with steel back then.
Right.
And now they're made with, I don't know, some sort of carbon something or other. And you would think they would be able to, like, I don't know what a 3D printer is, I have to confess. I have no idea what
We actually talked about it yesterday.
I have no idea what
the biggest
a 3D
one's 4 feet long.
The biggest one is 4 feet long?
Yeah, that's what Elon was saying. They're not.
So
that
can
you
you make... Could
can't
make
make
the
giant
table out of
things.
this? You can't make anything
Not
bigger
really.
than 4 feet.
I don't think so.
But
I mean, maybe there's some
car
like
parts
super.
now are. I mean, if you have a car, if you
Yeah.
have a fender bender, there's like 7 parts that you have to replace now.
Yeah.
Panels and panels and panels.
But that's also because they're better structurally to withstand impact. They have these crumple layers, and they're designed in a way that makes it safer for you. They're a lot safer than old cars. And I fucking love old cars.
And the sound systems are better.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
But new cars look great. New cars are awesome. There's a lot of like really good-looking American cars, a lot of really good-looking German cars. What happened in the 1970s and the 1980s was a drop-off, a significant drop-off from the 60s. The 60s cars were some of the best-looking cars of all time. Like a 65 Corvette, one of the
power.
greatest-looking cars the world's ever
I was
designed.
a 62 Corvette guy.
Oh,
to
those
be
are
honest
beautiful
with you.
too. Model 1, the first one, Generation 1. But like, you know, the Camaros and Barracudas, like they made beautiful, wild-looking cars back then. And I think a lot of that had to do with just the way creativity was encouraged in the 1960s. It was more free-flowing. The music was completely radical and different. Politics was radical and different. And that's why they passed those laws. They passed those laws to stop the anti-war movement. It was a civil rights movement and,
And
the
the guy they
anti-war
put
movement.
in charge was a man who had absolutely no qualifications. Who had no qualifications to do any of it.
No.
Yeah, it's kind of I've got a friend that's been trying to get me to do a movie about it, but the person responsible for making all the laws was someone who had absolutely no background in any of the fields, no knowledge whatsoever, just a total huckster
Yeah.
that got himself out in front.
Well, they probably had a mandate. They gave him a mandate. This is what we're going to do. This is the plan. We're going to lock up all these hippies. And lock
I'll
up all
carry
these
the
people.
flag. I'll
Yeah.
carry the flag. Yeah, whatever it is,
Yep.
I'll run up the hill.
Exactly.